your opinion, what are the main drivers of climate change?
In my opinion, one of the greatest drivers of climate change is, of course, the greenhouse gas emissions, such the emission of CO2, methane, but also nitrous oxide. As we all know, greenhouse gas trap the heat inside the atmosphere, and this tends to rise the global temperature. For example, CO2 comes primarily from the burning of fossil fuels that we use for the energy, the transportation, but also for the industry. CH4, which is methane, came primarily from the agricultural activities and from the livestock farming. And of course, nitrous oxide came primarily from the fertilizer. This is one of the greatest drivers, in my opinion, but also deforestation and land use change is an important driver because forests are cleared for the agriculture, for the human development, but also for the livestock farming, and the carbon that was stored is released as CO2. Also, there is a reduction in the Earth absorption of carbon, and this increases the global warming. Also, there is the conversion of a natural landscape to farmland and urban areas, and this tends to disrupt the ecosystem and also the biodiversity. Another important driver is represented also by the industrial processes. So the greenhouse gas emission and other pollutants are produced. And of course, for example, the cement production releases a lot of CO2, but also the chemical industry releases a lot of pollutants in our seas, but also on land. Speaking about agriculture, also the livestock farming represent an important driver because a lot of methane is released, but also the overuse of water and soil degradation is an important problem. Another important driver is also the transportation. As we all know, we are using the burning of fossil fuels to move, and this releases a lot of CO2. Also, the energy production is one of the largest sources of greenhouse gas emission. In fact, the burning of coal, oil, and natural gases is important to generate heat and electricity, and this releases a significant amount of CO2. Also, the waste management is an important driver because by incinerating the waste, a lot of CO2 is released. Of course, nowadays, overpopulation is an important problem, and the population is rising really quickly. So also another important driver is represented by buildings and urbanization. There is a high energy consumption that is coming from the heating, the cooling, and the lighting, and many fossil fuels are used for these purposes. And the urbanization also increases the demand for energy, transportation, and infrastructure. So in my opinion, these are the main drivers that are present nowadays.